Thanks to everyone um who's coming by. We just got started. I'm sure more people will be coming in, but thanks a lot. We're gonna be discussing Certified Lover Boy, Drake's newest album. We're gonna give it the justice it deserves, since Anthony
It needs
Fantano.
some praise.
It does. It really does. Um, Anthony Fantano gave it a 3. Lots of people, I think, they just looked at the album cover and the album title and they dismissed it unfairly. Even though I think it's some of the most interesting music I've heard from Drake in a while. In my opinion, I'd love to hear. Your name is Max, right? Yes, Max.
Yes, yes.
I'd love to hear your opinions though, because Fantano bitch made for real. I'd love to hear your opinions since
Facts.
you seem to be a much bigger Drake fan than me. You seem to have really know his discography pretty well. You seem like a big Drake fan. Wouldn't you say that's true?
Well, listen, let me give you how it started. So in year 10, What a Time to Be Alive just came out, and I heard Jumpman with Future, and before that I hadn't heard any Drake or any Future, because when I was getting into hip hop, I was a huge 90s fan. Like, the person who got me into hip hop was hearing the Method Man track of 36 Chambers. So, which is still one of my favorite songs ever. I love that song. But anyway, I listened to What a Time to Be Alive, went back, listened to If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, and that's when the addiction started. And then probably in 2017, I saw him live in Australia. As like,
Oh damn.
he he came to Australia just as we finished high school. So that was pretty mad. And then ever since, I've just been a massive Drake fan. So, and looking at Certified Lover Boy, the album for sex havers strictly, um, it was very refreshing, I think is the word. And that goes against what a lot of people said, was because they're saying the album was copying the exact same formula as like Views, Dark Lane demo tapes, and More Life, which is just plainly wrong.
That is
That
so fucking wrong. It drives me nuts. I mean,
like,
yeah, you go ahead.
your ears don't work if you think that. Like, genuinely. Like, I don't see how you make those correlations.
I
Like,
haven't.
oh my days,
Yeah,
bro.
it's interesting because you got the chipmunk soul samples in there, which is kind of like old school Drake, and he definitely didn't really do much chipmunk soul kind of stuff in his most recent couple releases, and
Especially and maybe in a couple tracks on More Life, like Do Not Disturb.
yeah.
He didn't really on Views it had a few, like the title track and Western Road Flows had a couple. But like, it's about taking elements of what you're good at and putting it together to make something new. It's not about going completely on the other track.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like also there was a little bit more. What's going on? What are people?
Oh, it's just the chat. I had a quick look at the chat.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
these trolls.
I
Shut up.
I recommend what I've done is, well, your computer screen isn't streaming, it's mine, so you can do whatever you want. But I just popped the Twitch chat out, and that made it easy for me. But
Yeah, I got like Twitch open on my monitor, and it's currently zooming off my phone.
oh,
So
nice. Okay, you got
yeah,
it all down then. Yeah. So wouldn't you say that Drake in this album, some of the beats, none of the beats are necessarily groundbreaking within the genre of hip hop, but it's
yeah,
beats that I haven't seen Drake really experiment too much with before, like cloud rap kind of trap, some more chill kind of
bro.
atmospheric beats at some points. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Shout outs, Rock Marciano, because bro, that Champagne Poetry track that would not exist without Rock Marciano, and that song is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say this album. I mean, I think there's definitely some valid critiques of it being pretty long, and maybe if you're listening to it from start to finish, and you're not a huge Drake fan, I could see someone getting a little bored of it. But I think there is
Hmm.
a lot of actually really great tracks that stand out on its own. I love Poppy's Home. You know what's actually a good song too?
Amazing.
You know what's interesting is
Yep.
on rateyourmusic.com, the song with the lowest track rating is Fucking Fans. And
Not surprised.
I'm not
honestly.
I'm not surprised either. I do
But
feel
you're a
like
fan?
I think it's a great song. My argument for that song is that I think a lot of people. Well, first off, it's definitely like a slower, more monotone. No, it's not. It's not certified ass. It's like a slower, more monotone song. It's not like quite like a banger. It's like definitely a lot more chill. But what I like about it is that like it's like, you know, it's longer and it's a little bit more just like Drake kind of just like pouring his heart out. And I feel like a lot, yeah, Poppy's Home is the best. But I feel like a lot of people when they see the song Fucking Fans, they see the album cover with the pregnant ladies, they see the album title Certified Lover Boys, I think they just jump to conclusion that it's like Drake bragging about fucking a lot of people. But obviously if you listen to the song Fucking Fans, he kind of has like this moment where he's like explaining that like him having sex with like a lot of people and including his fans has been like detrimental to his relationship with like people he's like close with. And like it's actually like, even though the album presents itself as this corny, horny album, like this, like you can hear in the lyrics, he's actually like, it's not supposed to be like all just horny fun. Like there's actually like he kind of reflects on the negative side of being like a promiscuous certified lover boy celebrity. So it's kind of cool.
I mean, looking at it in the context, it's like you're going from these really like cheesy, but it works kind of rom-com tracks like Race My Mind, Get Along Better, and what's the other one? Pipe Down, where there's these really glamorous beats and they're super like loud and in your face, and you have Drake being real melodic, talking about this girl and all that. And Fucking Fans, as I've listened to the album more, I've listened to it probably about 30 times now. It really acts as a good transition from that corny shit to the Remorse. And the Remorse is a great outro. But like, as I've listened to Fucking Fans more, taking note of like what he's talking about, I've been like, wow, this is actually an amazing track. I actually really like it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, and honestly, like I really believe lots of people on Rate Your Music and just Anthony Fantano, you know, lots of people who know Drake, they see him in the media, they've heard him on the radio. They just have this idea of him as this corny, really popular rapper. And to be fair, he is very corny and very popular a lot. You know, like, but like, if you go into listening to the album just with those expectations, given the length, I can definitely see you just start daydreaming, and then you get to the song Fucking Fans because it's near the end and you're not paying attention and you just assume that it's what you kind of like have already imagined it to be without actually like thinking about it and focusing. And I also do feel like this album is like pretty funny. Like it's not like
it's bro. Way Too Sexy is the biggest comedic track I've ever heard. I loved it.
Yeah.
And Knife Party is such a like ironic banger. Like Drake really got on a track, and where you have Project Pat, a Memphis beat, and 21 Savage come in before you, and the first thing you say is, "Oh, Puppy is outside." Like he's taking the piss. It's fucking hilarious. And that, oh, it's getting real oppy outside. Like,
yeah,
bro, he is hilarious on this album.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, I gave this full disclosure. You gave this album like what you say? It's like a 9 out of 10 in your opinion. 8.5.
Yeah,
9. Okay.
9. Yeah.
So I uploaded my review today. I gave it a 6.9 out of 10. So I think that's obviously that's the funny sex number, but also
no, but it's also very apt because it's an album about having lots of sex.
Exactly.
And you yourself are a sex haver. Yeah.
Exactly. I think I don't know. Like you have to understand. Like a lot of these Drake haters are probably 14. You know what I mean? Like, it's no big deal if you're 14 and you haven't had sex yet, but you're not gonna like this album, so you're not gonna understand the
Right.
humor.
There's a spectrum for Drake haters. It's like, so they all go under one branch. Massive non-sex lovers. And then you got your spectrum. You're either on one side, you have a 14, or you're a 35-year-old bald man who reviews music for a living. Like, either or. There's no in between.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and just here we go. I always like these graphs. I think it's useful. And then CLB enjoyment. Okay, so basically we have Anthony Fantano. Anthony Fantano, he is married. We can assume that he's at least he doesn't have a kid, so we actually don't know if Anthony Fantano's had sex. So we're just gonna say like.
And even when you get married, the sex becomes mid. So
exactly, and we're gonna. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying this, but we can assume that his wife is the only person he's ever had sex with. So Anthony Fantano is only has ever had mid sex in his whole life. So we're gonna go ahead and if this is your one as a quality of sex, we can assume that Anthony Fantano is like right here. So we're just gonna draw that and put Fantano. Okay. Okay. And then we know that he's at like a 3 out of 10. So honestly, that's like not too bad. And then we're up here probably around 10. We've done it all.
Copious amounts of sex I've had. So
how are we gonna do this here? So basically, it's pretty simple. It's just like, and then like once you have really good sex, your enjoyment like skyrockets. So
exactly.
We have Anthony Fantano around here about 3. And then there's us, who's, like you're probably having a little bit better sex than me. You're probably right there at 9, and then like.
Listen, I've been studying economics and business management now for 4 years. I see this graph, and all I see is there's a positive relationship between sex life quality and CLB enjoyment.
Yeah. So.
And the evidence is undisputable.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell just by people who are tweeting about this. People getting so mad at the pregnant lady. I have to say, in the United States, and I'm assuming probably even in Australia, there's like some like acknowledgement of this stuff happening. In the United States, there's like lots of shit in the news right now about Texas, a state in the United States that just passed like some very strict anti-abortion laws. Yeah. And then kind of simultaneously, Drake comes through with this album cover that's 9 pregnant ladies. I don't know what the connection is there, but it seems a little too coincidental to be a coincidence. So,
yeah, if Drake is just ahead of his time, like
yeah,
and people were complaining that he's not addressing social issues, but the 12 pregnant emojis on the CLB cover is saying, hey, I think we should have a re-look at our abortion laws, because as you can see here, women have the choice and women should be able to choose if they have an abortion or not.
Yeah, I think it's all right. How do I give? I want to give. Hold up. All right, I'll give you moderation abilities after the stream, James. But I don't feel like dealing with it right now. But yeah, it just kind of raises the question: if the entirety of the United States and Canada, because he's Canadian, had strict abortion laws like Texas, would we have a lot more little Drake babies running around? And would we have 10 plus?
I mean, hey, you heard what he said on you only live twice. I had to fuck a lot of girls to get this child, bro. Hey.
Yeah. It's true. What? So I'm going to be honest with you. Speaking of Drake, because that's what we're here to talk about, I've never listened to Scorpion or Views in full. Because, yeah.
You haven't listened to Views? Oh my god, man.
Because when it came out, it came out at a time when I wasn't doing music criticism yet. I was not like super into Drake. I saw it was like a long album and like it wasn't getting like the best reviews. I was just kind of like having like a hipster anti-mainstream music moment. So I just kind of like didn't listen to it. And then same with Scorpion, like long ass album. I just never got to it. But now I listen to Certified Lover Boy. I felt it. I felt the Drake. And I've enjoyed Drake before. Like I really enjoy Take Care. That album came out when I was, I think a freshman in high school or something like that. And like if you're a freshman in high school, like Take Care is gonna blow your fucking mind because it's like just a dope ass album with some amazing songs, obviously.
But it probably got played everywhere.
Yeah, they were played everywhere, but it was like I was kind of cool with it because it was like, okay, well, if we're gonna have these pop songs like on the pop rap songs on the radio, they might as well be like Drake because Drake is pretty good. So I was like cool with it, but after that, like I have listened to and do enjoy still today. If you're reading this, it's too late. I think that I love that.
That's amazing.
I think that's a really cool album. But I don't know, like I guess like throughout college I was really into rock music and I was hearing all the really I was hearing a lot of the songs like Hotline Bling and all the big Drake pop songs and I was just like not feeling like going out of my way to listen to Drake, you know what I mean? But tell me what you think. So you think Views do you think it's like one of Drake's best albums?
Okay. Views is an overlooked masterpiece. It got a lot of hate for when it was released and as it continued as the years went on, is what I'm trying to say. But now, most people are looking at it and they're seeing a 10 out of 10 in the album in their eyes. It's his second best behind If You're Reading This. It's Too Late.
Interesting.
And I feel like if you like Certified Lover Boy, you're kind of gonna like Views because it's a very diverse sound like Certified Lover Boy, but it kind of what's the word? It's more sentimental because he's not rapping about all the sex he's had. He's rapping about his hometown instead and his come up.
Interesting. Does Drake still live in like Toronto or wherever? Is he in Toronto?
Yeah. Yeah. So, the 7 a.m. in Bridal's Path song?
Mm-hmm.
Bridal's Path is where his home is. And it kind of ties into Kanye dropping all his address and all that. And it's also like his house is a big tourist destination in Canada. People go drive past it, have a look at it.
Wow. Damn. I bet, I'm guessing like Toronto probably has a shit ton of like Drake pride because Toronto, it's a major city in Canada and everything, but I can't really think too much. I'm sure they've got some good sports teams or whatever, but I can't think of anything as significant as Drake to come out of Toronto. So I bet there's like, for example, I visited Montreal recently and they have this huge like painting of like Leonard Cohen, because Leonard Cohen is definitely one of the best artists to come out of Canada and Montreal. So
yeah.
I bet you anything, like, I don't know, you probably haven't been to Toronto, but I bet there's, like, fucking, like, yeah, you're all the way in Australia, but I bet Toronto probably has some, like, big-ass, like, Drake paintings and, like, graffiti on, like, the sides of their buildings and big-ass Drake pride.
Malcolm's from Toronto, and he just said everyone in Toronto loves Drake, so...
That's cool. That's cool, yeah. It is kind of cool, like... I don't know anything about Toronto, so besides the fact that it's in Canada, but
yeah, look, I wouldn't get along with Canadians. They're way too nice. If I called them a dickhead, they'd probably look at me weird. So, yeah. Anyway,
interesting.
Yeah, but that 7 a.m. in Bridal's Path song, I wanted to talk about that because that song was fucking lethal. Have you heard his other Time and Place songs?
I don't think I can't off the top of my head.
Like 5 a.m. in Toronto, 4 p.m. in Calabasas, 6 p.m. in New York, the outro. So if you're reading this, it's too late.
Well, I've definitely listened to the outro since I've listened to that full album, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. I don't know the track names too well. So
Yeah, you got to check out 5 a.m. That's on his Care Package project. It was all the Lucy singles he compiled into an album.
okay, I mean,
And
I think that's kind of cool that
yeah,
there's like that continuation of like time stamped songs. You know.
well, this is the thing. Everybody was complaining. Like, this is about views getting unjustified hate. Everyone was saying, I need a new time and place song from Drake. He needs to get back on his shit and rap his ass off. So he drops a song called 7 a.m. in Bridal Path, which is the continuation of the time and place. He is absolutely going in on that track. Like, I don't know if you sat down and like listened to what he said on that track, but he was being pretty damn mean. And it's beyond me that people were saying they want this, they want this, they want this, and as soon as they get it, now they're turning on Drake. It's unbelievable.
Yo, I gotta be honest, like, your passion for Drake is rubbing off on me. Like, I'm definitely gonna be, like, going back, exploring his discography more, listening to these tracks with, like, a little bit more focus, because, I guess, like I said, you know, I had a little bit of a phase there where Drake was super popular and getting lots of pop rap tracks, and I was just like, I don't know, he's probably just trying to, you know, pump up his stream counts. He's probably lost any artistic integrity, but sounds like he hasn't. And like I said, I did enjoy Certified Lover Boy more than I expected. I think Drake won the battle with Kanye. So I mean,
look, I'm not gonna be like a blind Drake fan. I do love Kanye. I grew up on listening to Kanye's music. And the truth is, in this beef, I'm with Drake. But what I really want is I want Drake and Kanye to come back together. Like, when you listen to Views, you're gonna hear a song called "Feel No Ways." It is the greatest song of all time, and it's like, I think it's tied with the best Drake song, and it was produced by Kanye. So we need that to come back together.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, Kanye West is so mentally unstable that I mean, it's kind of up to Kanye, in my opinion. Like, I feel like if Drake reaches out and tries to restore that relationship, like, Kanye is very unpredictable. I don't know. I'd like to believe they can kind of heal. And, you know, I do agree that Kanye West, like, however you feel about him, like, Kanye West has obviously established himself as, you know, legendary status, going down in history as one of the most important musicians of all time, probably. There's no denying it, even though, honestly, like, I haven't loved anything Kanye West has released since Yeezus. I think Yeezus was the first, like, Kanye West album I loved, even though, like, Life of Pablo is cool.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I never was super into Life of Pablo.
Oh.
I thought Ye
My favorite
was pretty good, but I wasn't, like, super into it. Like, it was kind of short, and I don't know. Give me a second. I'm gonna pack my bowl real quick and smoke a bit, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
I just need to pick it. It'll take me 2 seconds. Oh, it's actually right here. I thought it was in the other room, so we're good. Did I like Donda? I have a video on Donda, but
yeah, he said he doesn't listen to Donda.
Yeah, I don't listen to Donda, but I thought it was definitely like Drake's best. I mean, not Drake, Kanye's best.
What's that? What's up, Armin?
In a while.
Yeah, I think. Look, I'm not here to talk about Kanye, but I will say Donda was it was nice. It was nice.
I was surprised.
It seemed like he kind of came back artistically as an artist, which I'm very happy for, because Ye and Jesus is King was not it in my eyes.
Ye, Jesus is King, Jesus is Born. Like, he was definitely having a moment where he was like a little bit scattered all over the place, and then he releases this massive album. I'm not gonna lie, that's exciting. I didn't think he had it in him. Do I believe in God after Donda? I used to believe in God before Donda, but now I don't.
If anything, Certified Lover Boy's got me believing in God.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Certified
god
Lover
of
Boy.
sex.
Yeah.
Drake, the god of sex. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Kanye
Man,
West.
that I can't get enough of that 7 a.m. on Bridal's Path song. There was some crazy lines on there.
Yeah. So overall, we got a pretty an album that's hitting all the marks. I like the production on it. I think it's really chill. I say the whole album is very chill, in a way that, like I said, like for some people who aren't, listening to it too actively, maybe aren't that big Drake fans, maybe it's gonna come off a little boring because of how chill it is. But for me, I love that like R&B, more like singing kind of Drake. And yeah, another thing that's awesome about Certified Lover Boy is like all the features I think are fucking great. Travis Scott, Jay-Z,
Yep.
Young Thug,
Yep.
Future, like holy shit, he got like all the best features you can ask for, and they all contribute, I think, some great stuff.
You wanna know what is a great feature in my eyes?
What?
That Gideon feature at the end of In the Bible. Like he really rounded out that track as perfectly as it had to be rounded out. Like, oh.
Yeah, it's a massive album.
What do you think of okay, because we talked about Champagne Poetry and Puppy's Home. We agree that those two songs are some of the best on the track. I think you said Puppy's Home is your favorite, which for me it's definitely up there. But then it goes on to Girls Want Girls, In the Bible, and Love All. And all three of these songs have been poorly received. What do you think of that little free track run?
Okay, so I will say that Girls Like Girls, if you don't like that song, go fuck yourself. Because that song is so good.
He gets it.
It's so good. The lyrics are inappropriate. You sensitive babies crying about the freaking... Oh, Drake said... Oh, it's so cringe. Drake said he's a lesbian too. Okay, he did. And all of you won't stop talking about it. You won't stop talking about it. You won't stop tweeting about it. Drake accomplished exactly... Drake got you exactly where he wanted you to. You literally fell into his trap. You think Drake is stupid? He knew exactly what he was doing. He was like, I'm going to include this stupid lesbian line and everyone is going to fucking lose their mind. And he did it. And I'm like, Drake, that is brilliant.
Bro,
you're great.
I love how it went from that like amazing chopped up chipmunk soul beat on Puppy's Home, and like it was going talking his shit on that song, and then it transitions to this quiet melodic thing, and one of the first lines you hear is you love girls like you're a lesbian girl, me too. I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like people who are like mad about that line need to like relax and
I haven't seen many people mad at it, honestly.
Yeah, maybe not mad at it, but like people who just like are like, oh, that's corny and cringe, without realizing that like that's the point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like people, that's what I mean. It's such an entrancing and enveloping experience because it kind of takes that really rom-com corniness and puts it into an album, but not to the point where it's unbearably listenable. But it's really nice. Like, songs like Pipe Down, the lyrics may not be the best things Drake has dropped, but those melodies and that amazing beat just compile so well together where it's like, it's amazing. I love that song so much.
Yeah, Pipe Down's cool too. That's also, I think, another song that is definitely a standout moment. Yeah, man, like, I think, it kind of drives me a little bit crazy to log on to Rate Your Music and see the album's ratings so low. And I understand.
Oh, dude, we've talked about this. What do you expect? Rate Your Music users are probably the biggest virgins on the planet.
Oh,
Like
yeah, you're right.
their
So,
sex enjoyment in life
oh,
is so
yeah.
low.
Okay, you're right. So let's actually pull the graph up here. So we have Fantano here. So we're gonna have to make we're gonna have to go into like the negatives for
Yeah, we're
the.
gonna have to draw all four axes
So
now.
we're gonna have to
Wait,
go. So if your sex life is like -10, then you're like Rate Your Music. Like even Anthony Fantano at least has probably gone to second base with his wife, but Rate Your Music, you know what I mean? Like we're gonna put them at -10.
Wait, what did they rate CLB on Rate Your Music? I wanna have a look.
I don't even know, man.
Yeah. I haven't used this website in like over a year.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And all of a sudden I started having copious amounts of sex, who could be surprised?
Exactly. That's kind of how it works sometimes. But
1.88?
yeah.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Like if you don't like
Yeah.
if I came on and I saw it was like a 2.5, I'd still be like that's too low, but I can understand it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But like a 1.8 is just like okay, you're just purposely there's no way you're listening to this album with an open mind. You're purposely like ew Drake, pregnant lady on the cover, ugly cover, blah, you know, like it drives me nuts because like I said, it's like the lesbian line. Like
Yeah.
the lesbian line, the way Drake throws that curveball in is so entertaining, and it pisses so many people off. And like the pregnant lady cover, the same thing. It's a curveball. It fucks with you. Like I respect it. I respect the curveball. Like someone in the chat said, like, "Oh, it's bad. It's bad because it's supposed to be bad." Yeah, fuck you. That's cool.
Remember all those memes about the guy on Reddit who used the what is it called, the Pavovian technique to make himself like CLB?
Yeah.
That's us.
That's us. Yeah, and guess what? We are way happier for it. We're having better sex and we're enjoying music more than you.
It's because we put it on while we have sex. We
Exactly.
associate it with good things.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And that's another thing that Drake did really nicely in this album. Is there's a lot of like smooth, chill R&B tracks that like you could easily get away with fucking to. You can definitely fuck to this album.
Okay, maybe not while you're fucking, because the subject matter of Get Along Better is a bit you know, it's about liking your friends more than you. But that Get Along Better song, that is the peak of that rom-com corniness. But it sounded so fucking good, where it just works amazingly.
Yeah. So
what
we basically have here is an album that if you want a banger that's like going to be a lot of fun and just super catchy, you got those tracks. If you want a song that's going to put a smile on your face because it's entertaining and corny and funny, we've got those songs. If you want a song that's going to make you feel like emotional and chill out and like have some like, you know, feelings about your life and relationships, we've got those songs. If you want songs to have sex to, we've got those songs. What more could you want from an album? Sex, sad, happy, fun, you know, everything. You got everything in an album. So fuck the haters. Anthony Fantano has
get fucked, Fantano.
Get fucked, man. Like we've got two.
Look, I offered a peace treaty with Fantano and he didn't accept. So,
dude,
look,
he called me a cunt. He called me a cunt in email, so I have it documented.
In email.
So, but he unblocked me on Twitter. So right now I'm kind of on a peace treaty with him. But like I'm still like, we're still having a punk revolution. We're still gonna overthrow his ass. But I'm gonna, you know, it's like you're kind of like at war with the country. But like there's kind of like a moment where you're gonna like chill out for some like unspoken reason. For me, like he unblocked me on Twitter. Okay, I'll hold my punches back because I think strategically in the war against Fantano, it's good for me to have access to his Twitter. So, you know, it's my thoughts. Have you?
Yeah, you're 100% right. BPP. Nobody has sex to Pusha T. Nobody has sex to Pusha T.
That's a good point. Yeah, you know, I really love Pusha T, and you know, I thought it was such a funny thing when he released that track about Drake and everything. And, you know, I think a lot of people say Pusha T won that whole battle, but in the bigger picture...
Look,
are you gonna
be
have
honest with me.
Yeah.
Which song do you prefer, Duppy Freestyle or Story of Adidon?
Story of Adidon, man. I'm sorry. Like that's just how it
Ah,
is. Like
fucking hell, man.
to me, I know. I'm sorry, but
Stop
like
trolling me, bro. Come on, man.
I'm not here to troll you. It's just uh I thought it was just such a fun like maybe I don't know, maybe I gotta re-listen to them and try to like take the
Okay,
context out,
the
you know?
the thing is with yeah, I don't look. Duppy Freestyle, a majority of the disses were going towards Kanye because Drake's real problem is Kanye and not Pusha T. But obviously, you know, Kanye hired Pusha T as his the person to drop a diss track against him.
Yeah.
And it's did you see the consequence shit?
Can you remind me of that?
Do you know who Consequence is, the rapper?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. After Drake dropped Certified Lover Boy, and he leaked the Life of the Party song, Consequence dropped a diss track on him called The After Party, and literally nobody gave a fuck about it because he was rapping on like MTV Crib type beats. It was pretty bad.
Interesting.
It was pretty bad.
Interesting. So were you like pretty like emotionally invested in the Drake Pusha T beef because you know you're like a big Drake defender?
Can I be honest? When those diss tracks dropped, I was working. I think I worked 12 hours that day. So I got off work, opened my phone, and saw a diss track from him called Story of Adidon with Drake. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I like missed the whole social media going off shit. So I was kind of like, whatever. Like I listened to it and I think the disses were good and I understand the whole you know, anything goes in rap beefs kind of deal. But it wasn't a good diss. All he did was just kind of reveal his secrets about the Adidas line and the baby.
Bro,
and obviously,
I gotta hold up. Let me just stop you there. You're like,
yeah.
You said like, it wasn't a big deal. All he did was reveal that Drake has a.
I was gonna correct myself.
All right.
I was gonna correct myself. Look, it's not a good diss, but what it did is shook Drake, and what I will say.
Okay, see again, that's like you said. It's not a good diss. All it did was it shook Drake. Dude, that's the whole point of a fucking diss track. Like, he nailed it. Like, if you can actually make your target shook, then you accomplish the goal of a diss track. So, okay, anyways, keep going.
Yeah, but it wasn't through disrespecting him. It was from just releasing his secrets, you know? And it's, I mean, I'll give him credit.
Dude, that's disrespectful, man. To reveal someone's secrets is disrespectful. Like, I understand, like, you know... Okay, there were no good diss bars.
Exactly,
Fair.
there were no good diss
bars. There were no good diss
yeah,
bars. Okay,
facts.
I guess, in my opinion, just because of the whole revealing the, like, drama with the child thing, the lyrics in that song and the beat in that song could have been awful. Just fucking objectively mediocre. But because of, like, him going that far to, like, reveal this secret of Drake, automatically makes it, like... a pretty significant diss track, you know. But I agree. Like, obviously, there's way better diss tracks out there with way like more like technically impressive and creative lyrics and stuff. That's all true.
Two birds with one stone is a better diss track.
Exactly. There's definitely way better diss tracks out there. But you know, like, I gotta give Pusha T credit where credit is due. Like, it was to me funny as shit. Just like at the time, like, I wasn't a big Drake fan. I was like a neutral. You know what I mean? Like, it was at least very entertaining. Like,
it was alright.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna win this debate here. You know both the songs better than I do. I'll re-listen with an open mind. Maybe Drake's got some.
I just don't rate. Like, okay, I would say it would have been a more fair diss if Drake navigated all of his lyrics to Pusha. But the truth is, a majority of them were going to Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Because his real problem is with Kanye.
Interesting.
And that's become even more clear as Donda and CLB played out. Is the feud is not between Pusha T and Drake; it's between Drake and Kanye.
Yo, could you explain the drama from like the beginning between Kanye and Drake? Because I'm a little bit out of the loop on that stuff.
Look, I wouldn't say I know perfectly how it started, but like, because they made a song in 2017, it was on More Life, and then all of this happens in like middle of 2018. And if it's from, if I'm correct, the whole Good Music week where they were dropping album after album after album for 5 weeks was to mess with Drake's release schedule of Scorpion. They were trying to delay when Scorpion came out.
That's so weird that they
Kind
had.
of it was similar to what's it called? How he was fucking around with the live performances to mess around with Certified Lover Boy.
Yeah, that's actually yeah. It's because I was noticing that too with like the whole release schedule stuff between Donda and Certified Lover Boy. Was no one was really sure when Donda was gonna drop, and that definitely like all the speculation about Donda definitely pulled a lot of attention away from Certified Lover Boy because Kanye was being like kind of a dickhead about teasing people with the album and stuff, which is definitely not fair to Drake. And
well, the thing is, they knew when Drake was planning to drop September 3rd.
Yeah.
So he kept delaying to that date. And I'm pretty sure what happened was because Universal said, I mean, Kanye said that Universal dropped it without his permission.
Mm-hmm.
So, if anything, probably Universal saw that he was going to drop on the same Drake, and the day as Drake, and it would have affected his sales really fucking badly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they probably just
absolutely.
So they probably just dropped it anyway.
I got you. Interesting.
Yeah, and also the Lift Yourself track. You probably heard about how that beat was meant for Drake, and Kanye went and did the poopity scoop shit over it.
Honestly, I don't think I've listened to this.
You have not heard the Lift Yourself track?
Maybe I have. Was it like on the radio?
The poopity scoop, scoop-diddy whoop, whoop, scoop.
All right.
Oh
yeah, play it. I haven't heard it.
How am I gonna?
Actually, I mean, I could probably find it, but
yeah, if you just, it should just be on like YouTube or some shit.
All right.
But anyway, it was this really beautiful beat.
Okay.
And Lift Yourself, Kanye. Yeah, it's right there. He's uploaded to his channel.
Can you send it to me in the chat?
Yeah.
In the Zoom chat. Yeah. Yes. I used to live under a rock, and back when I lived under a rock, I would have given Certified Lover Boy a low score. But now I've come out of my rock. I've had the sex I need to have, and I'm a
that's what I mean.
now.
That's why a lot of people don't rate views still. It's because they still live under that rock and they refuse to accept the greatness. But what's it called? Views. I'm pretty sure if you enjoy Certified Lover Boy, I reckon you'll enjoy views.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll put it in the chat. You probably.
Is it going in the Twitch chat or the Zoom chat? You can put it.
Zoom chat.
Okay.
Zoom chat.
Cool. Yeah. Maybe I'll listen to it. And it'll ring a bell. But I honestly feel like I would.
Yeah.
Oh, play that. I can hear it.
Yeah. Where is it? This shit.
Yeah, I've never heard this before. If I heard this, I would definitely remember it. There's no way I would hear this and not remember it.
Well, listen to this beat, right? It sounds nice.
It's a really cool beat.
Yeah. And so Drake rapped over it, and right, and Drake was gonna release it as a song, and then Kanye put that out, the same beat with the poop-diddy scoop, whoop-diddy whoop shit over it, so that then
Oh.
Drake couldn't use it. So I feel like that and the release date shit kind of is what led to the beef, and then obviously the Pusha T line kind of top started the beef on
Oh man,
Daytona.
I gotta say, it sounds like Drake. I mean, you're the one who's telling me all this shit, but it sounds like Drake's been pretty innocent in a lot of this beef here, and it sounds like it's mostly other people trying to instigate shit with him. You know, like I don't know. That's my perspective from what you're
Yeah.
telling me. Uh,
I mean, I think it was kind of the same case with Meek Mill. Meek Mill calls him out for ghostwriting, which is fair, but then Drake comes back and bodies him with 2 diss tracks. Like, you know,
the thing with the whole ghostwriting thing is like, if you're like as big as Drake, you know, I from an artistic perspective don't love ghostwriting, obviously. But like if you're as
yeah,
successful as Drake, like you're gonna need like a team of like creative people to help you ensure that like your artistic vision is on track. You know,
yeah,
that's how it goes with every big artist. Taylor Swift, probably even Kanye West. Probably I don't know about ghostwriting, but he's probably has lots of people in the studio helping him out. Name any big artist that's getting like tens of millions of listeners on Spotify. Like they've got a team.
I mean, I
You
was
know.
literally having an argument with someone when Certified Lover Boy dropped his Kanye stand saying that Drake uses ghostwriters. I'm like, what do you think Kanye does? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
You could.
Kanye literally admitted to using ghostwriters. It's like,
Yeah, and
know,
this is not like something I have a huge problem with because the truth is like in order to hire the right people on your team, in order to make sure your album turns out solid, that in itself
it's a
is
skill in itself.
that's a skill in itself. Like I personally prefer albums where it's like an individual who's, you know, pretty much doing everything themselves. I prefer indie music like that, but I will give the credit where
Yeah,
credit is due. Like if they're able to like hire people who keep the vision, you know, in line, it's not the worst thing in the world. You know, it's really not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, I mean, I don't like it, but it's not the worst thing in the world. So
look,
I can give Drake a little pass there. You know.
I would not yeah, I would not like lose. I wouldn't get mad over the ghostwriting shit. Obviously, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
you're not gonna get mad at anything Drake does, dude. You love Drake too much, so. But
Hey, hey, I will say, while I'm happy that Kanye and Drake were, I mean, not Kid Cudi and Drake were able to resolve their beef.
yeah,
I am angry at Drake for putting Kid Cudi on the album because Kid Cudi sucks.
wow, that's a hot take right there.
It's not even hot. It's just facts.
I mean,
Like, okay, Kid Cudi has one good album, Man on the Moon 2. That's it. Everything else sucks. Man on the Moon 1 is not as good as you remember it was.
I actually did re-listen to it recently, and I think you might be right that a decent amount of that was nostalgia. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Look, when I'm in the club on my Certified Lover Boy shit, they do play soundtrack to Happiness and what's the other one? Pursuit of Happiness, Soundtrack to My Life. That's it. They play those two. And those songs slap when you're in the club and you're drunk and you're on your Certified Lover Boy shit. But when I'm sitting down here listening to a full, 20 plus Kid Cudi album,
Yeah.
I'm not rocking with it.
I actually, you know what? I agree with you 100%.
Shout out Sean Price.
I agree with you 100%. Like Kid Cudi, I think I like his features. I like the way his voice sounds. I like his. I don't know. I like him, but the truth is, whenever I've listened to a Kid Cudi album in full, I'm not like returning to it too often. Like I just like him more as a
Yeah.
features kind of guy, and just I don't know. I don't know the whole beef too much with Drake and Kid Cudi as well, but
Oh, it's that was some old shit. It's like when Kid Cudi went into rehab, I think Drake started talking shit about him and all that. I think Drake wasn't very innocent then.
I got you. I got you.
Not at all. I'll admit the shit that Drake did was kind of dodgy. That shit wasn't on.
How has Drake been the past few years? Has he been causing any issues, or has he been like kind of chill lately? I don't know.
I mean, not as in like artist beef and whatnot. He doesn't really cause issues then. Honestly, like the thing is people think Drake is so hurt over this beef, and like sure it hurt him initially, and obviously Scorpion's potential was a bit limited because of the beef, and you can tell that in the songs, but it's still a great album in my view. But anyway, like look at what he's done since the beef. He's released Care Package. That shit sold well, even though it's a bunch of loose singles. He then released Dark Lemo Taste, which is a throwaway album and was super successful. And then all the singles he was dropping, like Laugh Now, Cry Later, and the DJ Khaled features, Scary Hours 2, and all the features he's done with people like Young Blue. Shout out to Young Blue. He is hard. And Heady One. Shout out to Heady One. Like, he's been doing good for himself past all that beef. You know what I mean? It's like, I wouldn't say that affected him too bad outside of like Scorpion. Like you can tell on some tracks on Scorpions, he was really hurt by the diss, but now he's like come back and he's like, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think to topple a force like Drake would be very difficult. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean Drake is kind of like as much as people like to target Drake. I mean, the truth is like, in terms of the sheer numbers of streams he gets and just how much he's accomplished as a musician.
Listen, can you please agree with me on something?
Sure.
There is a correlation between quality and sales. There has to be at least some correlation.
I think that's a little bit... I'll put it this way. If you have a pop song that sells really well, that pop song is probably better than a pop song that doesn't sell really well. So in that sense, there is some correlation there. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you.
I personally prefer indie music that like does not sell well at all. Like my favorite albums are like punk albums that like maybe a few thousand 10,000 people have listened to it or whatever. So I'm not going to say like the correlation is super strong, but like in some sense it exists. You know, like for example, if you're listening to a pop album, probably the best songs on that pop album are going to be a lot of the times the songs that get the most streams. You know what I mean? Like it's not crazy to suggest that. So I don't know.
I mean, like I look at shit like Views. Views first week sales, it sold over 1 million. And like, I get that Views wasn't very, like, you'll listen to Views and you'll be like, yeah, it is very, you know, it can target that audience and it has a lot of appeal for everybody. But listen to songs like Western Road Flows, 9, and Views, like those tracks where it's super lyrical and in-depth. It's like not everyone's bumping those. But people listen to that and they're like, you know, this is a great album. And that's why they keep streaming it so much. There's obviously you have your anomalies. You have a few anomalies where it's like they sell a lot and they're garbage. But hey, for the most part, in my opinion, I think there is a correlation between quality and sales.
Yeah, I mean, I think the correlation is like a little bit like kind of like a complex thing. Like it's not super like linear. You know what I mean? But
see, okay, I think a good thing to equate this to is pricing on the stock market. Now, there's two ways you can price stocks. It has its fundamental value, which is like how well the company is doing. Then it has its sentimental value, which is all the, you know, behavioral financial aspects. So people kind of have this sentimental and overconfidence value that they put onto stocks that artificially drives up the price. So then when it comes to quality, you have how good the music actually is as part of it. And you also have the kind of sales aspect, which tells you if a lot of people are listening to this, then it must be pretty good. So then other people go on and listen to it and they're like, hey, this is actually pretty good. You kind of see where I'm getting at?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I actually studied economics when I was in college, so I like
Really?
yeah. I graduated.
Yeah,
a
I'm an
few years-
economics major.
Oh,
I'm an
sweet.
economics major.
I mean, econ. I'm not gonna lie, like it's a great major. I recommend anyone in the
Yeah.
chat who's in high school not sure what they're doing. Maybe they should look into it. I can talk to you about it, and so can Max. But I studied economics,
Yeah.
and there's no doubt that econ majors rise up.
Shout outs to my econ majors.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that surprising. Like, even though people think econ and music are like polar opposites, the truth is like both are very nerdy. So, like, of course, there's going to be some overlap in the audience there. But, you can think.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, we know for sure, we've seen it happen many times where a stock is super overpriced because of the hype, basically. When there's.
GameStop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it just has absolutely nothing to do with the actual quality of how safe of or reasonable of an investment that stock is. So we definitely can see people's expectations fuck up.
I feel like we can make that that correlation then to Dance Monkey, It's a song that just got way too many streams for how awful it is. And as an Australian, I formally apologize for putting Tones and I and Dance Monkey on the map. We apologize.
You Australians have a lot to apologize
Me too,
for.
George. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
Have
you heard? Wait, how many Australian artists have you heard?
So I think I've listened to pretty much all the big Australian artists in terms of like. So there's Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Tropical Flux Storm, Tame Impala,
The Avalanches.
The Avalanches I've listened to. Who else am I missing? Those are like the biggest ones I know off the top of my head.
I'm guessing you've probably heard Flume as well.
Yeah, I've listened to Flume. Yeah.
King Gizzard.
Oh, absolutely. Lots of King Gizzard. Yeah.
King Gizzard's sweet. Have you ever heard Stella Donnelly?
I don't think I've listened to them.
Do you like indie pop?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, I like some.
It's good album.
Okay.
I recommend you check her out.
I'll check it out. Yeah,
I'll send the album link to your DMs.
Yeah.
After this.
Yeah. Yo, what city are you, or what part of Australia are you from, if you're okay with sharing that?
Yeah, it's fine. I've lived on the eastern coast my whole life, so I grew up and I was born in Sydney. Shout out Sydney. I grew up in like the northern beaches there, so if you've ever heard of Manly and all that, yeah, that's where I grew up, Bondi kind of area. Okay. And then I moved up here where I'm living now, Gold Coast, which is just it's a much smaller city, pretty bogan, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I mean, I don't know Australia that well. I've never visited, but it's good to know that
What do you know about Australia?
All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a friend who studied abroad there for a semester. He stayed in Sydney, and he really did not like Sydney.
Fair. Like, if you live in the city of Sydney, the city as a whole.
Yeah.
It is not a nice place to live.
Yeah.
But like if you live on like the outer suburbs of Sydney, it's much nicer. But yeah. But like I mean Australia's a cool place. Like, did you know that we have a state called Tasmania on its own little island? And did you know that it's the only spinning island in the world? It actually rotates very slowly.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to visit Australia and maybe even, like, stop at, like, New Zealand while I'm over there. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, like, a whole... Like, I'm sure the geography and everything is just so wildly different than it is, like, obviously in New York. I'm in New York City. So, if you ever... By the way, if you or anyone else in the chat visits New York City, feel free to hit me up. And we can hang out. Maybe if you even need a place to crash, you can crash on my couch or whatever. But
I mean, I don't see myself traveling anytime soon.
It's my cat right there on the couch. Oh yeah, the fucking
Yeah,
pandemic.
respect.
How do you feel about the
Yeah.
Australia lockdowns?
Oh, hey. I know we got some people from New South Wales and Melbourne in this chat right now, so they're going to be a bit touchy on the on the whole lockdown thing. But where I'm living, there's practically nothing going on. I think we're going to go into maybe a small lockdown because we had a couple cases recently, but other than that,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Interesting.
Sydney and New South Wales are getting butt fucked right now. So it's Victoria. They're getting, I think, over 1,000 cases a day right now.
Interesting. Yeah. I've heard that Australia, at least some parts of Australia, are definitely having some really really strict lockdowns. I
Yeah,
don't.
well, see, one of the premiers named Gladys Berejiklian is a complete fuckwit. Yeah, fuck Dan Andrews as well. Yeah, but it's like what happens a lot of the time is they're really slow to implement. Like, see, in Queensland, what happens is if we get 2 cases or something like that, we go into a snap lockdown. For a couple of days, you need to just sit inside until it's contained, and then after 3 days, we're going outside again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is with these other premiers, what's been happening is that they wait until cases become out of control and then they go into lockdown. And it's like, oh, what do we do now? You know?
Interesting. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's kind of interesting to me. You know, in the United States, it really varies state by state. The government, the federal government, likes to give like a lot of power to each individual state to kind of do their own thing. So there's some states that are stricter than others. There's some states where it's just no.
Get through it.
It's everyone, everyone for themselves. Do whatever you want, and sometimes that's worked out okay. But there's definitely some states where the cases and deaths are just skyrocketing and the hospitals are packed. So it's kind of I don't know. I'm always interested to hear kind of how it's going with other countries, just because it's kind of impacting the whole world, and we've all got different, governments kind of reacting to it differently. And I don't know very much about Australian politics, but that's one thing.
Our politicians have the brain size of a peanut and probably the brain capacity of a dead dog. So yeah. Like US politics.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that Australian politics is not such a walk in the park.
I had a very good conversation with my boy Pavlik. Shout out to Pavlik, and on Twitter. And we were, because he's from New Zealand, and New Zealand politics is it's actually pretty solid there. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
I've read that
leader.
I've read that their PM or president or whatever has a
prime minister. Yeah,
their prime minister has a very high approval rating, and I've seen her talk and stuff, and she seems pretty sharp.
I think
you know
how like usually the US politics, it's really close on versus the other candidate when it comes to who wins the election.
Yeah.
I think she won her election with like it was like she had 70% of the votes before it was even finished, and the other person just like surrendered it. She was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, interesting.
But anyway, I was talking to this to Pavlik, guy from New Zealand, and he was like, you know what, Australia is actually worse than the United States. I'm like, you're joking. And he actually rose a really good point to me. He's like, the government and the shit that happens in Australia is just as bad as United States, which I don't disagree with. But the reason why it seems like the United States is so bad is because everything that happens there gets thrown up like it's a live TV show, a reality sitcom. Like,
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's even more so in the United States, trust me. But yeah, I'm sure I've heard, I've got family in Brazil and Europe as well, and they've told me that it's the same shit where anything that I've seen it too. I studied abroad in Argentina for a semester, and while I was there, I saw on the TV and shit like lots of focus on
it's true.
Trump and stuff. So I don't know.
Trump and Biden is worse. Honestly, if Pauline Hanson ever gets close to power, then she would be up there with Trump, though. So
Yeah, I mean, everyone I talk to from different countries around the world, they all have some pretty critical things to say about their government. But then when I bring up the United States, they tend to say, "Oh, well, at least we're not as bad as you guys." And I'm like, "Yeah, I
yeah,
know."
true.
But I have family.
You guys are like the standard.
Yeah, but I have family in Brazil, and if you want to see just a horrible, horrible, unbelievably, unfortunate situation in terms of government, it's Brazil.
Yeah,
It's just
one of my best mates is Brazilian, so
yeah,
I know the gist of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just you have to choose between two incredibly corrupt parties that are just on both
Mm.
unbelievably, you know,
Yeah, they
Brazil,
can't. Yeah,
Brazil deserves better. Like I said, I got family
they do.
there. I visit. I love Brazilians. I love Brazilian culture. I have my fingers crossed that they'll get it sorted out. But it's anyways. We're talking about Drake here.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I don't know. Like, I'm always down to chat about
Hey, we just went off on a bit of a tangent. You know, it happens.
whatever. I've been smoking some weed. I drink
Yeah.
a margarita. I'm always down to talk about politics and
Hey, respect.
the world around us and whatever. But yeah,
That's
man,
it.
like I think it's been a lot of fun talking. I'm probably gonna hop. I think I'm gonna hop off in maybe like the next like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
but
I should probably get onto uni work. I am fucking behind as a motherfucker.
gotcha. But everyone who's still in
Yeah.
the chat, thanks for coming through. Make sure to follow the chat. Follow
Shout out.
Max on Twitter. It's fuck you troll. It's in the poster. You feel free to send your Twitter or whatever in the chat if you want. But you're a legend, Max. Like #1 Drake defender on Twitter, in my opinion, and just someone who knows what
Cheers.
someone who knows what they're talking about. Do you have anything
Prime
else?
sex ever.
Yeah. Do you have any other kind of social media stuff going on besides Twitter? Or is Twitter your main? Your main?
No, no, no. It's only Twitter. I mean,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I don't really use any other social media other than that.
I feel you. I feel you. Like I don't know. I feel like I've I've got YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and Discord and all this shit everywhere, and it's like
I mean, yeah, Facebook. Like I use Facebook. That's only for like close friends. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, it would definitely be weird to flex your Facebook right now on a Twitch stream. Like, yo, add me on Facebook. I mean, I guess that's not that weird, but like, I don't know. But I wouldn't do it. But yeah, this has been nice talking to you. I'm down to talk to you again sometime
Yeah,
soon.
it's
And
been good
like,
fun.
we've got some Australians in the chat. It seems like, and you're Australian. So if I visit Australia someday, I'll be sure to hit you up.
Oh, link up. Link up.
And we can
Of course.
I'll crash on your couch and you can and I'll buy you some drinks or whatever. But
Amazing.
that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna close
We
out
do
the
love
stream
drinking.
now. Thanks so
Alright.
much for everyone coming. Thanks again, Max, for joining us. This was chill as fuck. Maybe we can talk
was
again
my
in the
pleasure.
future. Like I'm down to talk again in another Twitch stream if you're down. So,
Hey, I'm down. And I know some people wanted to do call-ins, but obviously that would have been a bit hard to do with the what's it called, with the Zoom link. So if we do it again,
we can totally
I'm
make
down.
that. We can totally make that work. We can
Yeah.
absolutely get some people hopping in on the calls with us. This is my third time streaming on Twitch, so I'm still kind of figuring out kind of the most fun activities and best stuff to do. But I like the idea of having people hop on a call. So,
Easy.
nice talking to you. I'll see you
Alright.
later.